you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to finally be here. Oh my God, I was waiting for the perfect opportunity to record my first podcast, and that perfect opportunity seemed like it would never ever come. How many of us think that waiting for that opportune time when the red carpet is out and things are just going perfectly, and now is the time, like jumping double dutch, just waiting for that perfect time to get in between that rope? But let me tell you, in real life that doesn't exist. So welcome to Say What podcast. I am your host, Shakima D. Ford. And guys, I can't express enough how elated I am to finally be here. Shout out to Whitfield for that dope, amazing theme song. It took us some time to get it, but we finally got it, and I absolutely love it. Love it. So thank you again, Whitfield. But thank you for everyone who's tuning in and listening to me. We're going to be here for the long haul, right? Just a little bit about myself for those of you that don't know me. As I said before, I am your host, Shakima D. Ford. I'm 39 years old. Recently, 39 years old. August 6th was my birthday. So thank God for another year around the sun. I am also a mom of two wonderful boys, 7 and 4, and I love them. I'm also a wife, right? That's funny because I never thought that I would be here. But yep, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I own businesses. I'm a retired engineer. I was an engineer for 17 years. And I've been lucky enough to partner with some very successful people. And I started my own franchise in the credit repair business. So that's what I do. Outside of that, I do that. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in to Say What. So our first podcast is going to be about credit, because I am a board certified credit consultant, and that's what I do. I help people obtain and maintain excellent credit. So why not let the first episode be about keeping up with your credit, right? And everything that we talk about, guys, I want it to be of value to you, something that you can go apply in your daily life. When you hear something valuable, right? Be like, say what? That's why I named my podcast Say What, because I say that a lot. When I hear something, whether it's good or bad, I'm like, say what? So that song was perfect. The name was perfect. Everything was perfect and fitting to me, and hopefully it's appealing to my audience. So guys, let's get right into it, right? Let's first talk about what is credit and how was credit even established, right? And how do you establish credit for people that have no credit, right? So, know that credit is your financial heartbeat, right? Your credit, that's the bridge between you and lenders, right? That's your track record showing, hey, if I allow you to borrow this money, then you're going to pay me back, right? So think about someone that's borrowed money from you, right? And they don't pay you back. And what about the people that pay late? Are you going to want to loan them money again? No, because they don't have a good track record. So your credit is what determines if you're capable of paying back, right? That's your track record, as I said. And the most common way to establish credit is opening a secure credit card. because that secured credit card is based on your deposit and not your credit score. Now, it's very important to use that secured credit card just like you would as a regular credit card, right? Meaning like a Discover, a Chase, American Express, any major credit card, meaning whatever your deposit is, let's just say your deposit is $1,000, never ever exceed 30%. So don't go over $300. Okay. Very, very important. But guess what? It takes about 6 months of credit activity to establish enough history for a FICO score. And why did I say FICO? Because FICO is used in 90% of lending decisions, right? And FICO scores range from 300 to 850, right? 350 being the lowest and 850 being the highest. Now, there is some exceptions because you can have a zero credit score. And that zero means that you don't have any established credit, so they don't know if you're going to be responsible or not. You don't have a track record. You have absolutely nothing really if you have a zero. So zero being the absolute lowest, meaning you have nothing. 350 meaning, hey, you are just horrible, right? Maybe life happened to you and you had to do some things, or life didn't happen and you just were not responsible. But that's what it looks like when you have a 350 credit score. If you have an 850 credit score, you the bomb. Right? You are the absolute bomb. You get it. Now, let's talk about some history when it comes to this FICO score. This Fair Isaac and Company, which was founded in 1956, and it was founded by an engineer and a mathematician. Go figure. Remember I said I was an engineer for 17 years. But FICO wasn't put into place until, meaning it wasn't put in place to be measurable until 1986. And it was put in place to measure a consumer's risk of paying lenders back. Remember, I said, let's go back again when I talked about the bridge between you and lenders, right? Because they want to know, hey, if I loan you this money, you need to be able to pay me back. So that's what the FICO score was put in place for, right? And it was changed. Its name was changed in 2003 to Fair Isaac Corporation, right? So that's what currently FICO stands for. Now, I'm going to be very transparent on this podcast because that's what it's for, right? We're here to have fun. We're here to bring value. We're here to be ourselves. This is our safe haven, right? To talk about things. So I'm going to talk about when I got my first peek at credit, right? My first preview when it came to credit. I was my mom probably is going to kill me, but I was registering for college, right? And of course, we didn't go to college with me having $60,000 in the bank to pay for college, so we had to take out student loans, right? So my mom applied for the loan to pay for me to go to college. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much. You would give your all for your children. I love you. I love you. I love you for that. And she got denied. And I did not understand what was going on when it came to credit. I just knew that my mom was denied. I didn't know anything about credit. I never even heard of it, right? But Sally Mae was using your FICO score to determine if you could qualify to get the loans or not. So lo and behold, my mom had less than perfect credit. She got denied. It was heartbreaking for her. I could see it in her eyes. I remember it like it was yesterday. She was in tears because at that moment she thought that I wasn't going to be able to go to college. And that was the family's dream. I was the oldest child. I was the oldest grandchild, and all my family wanted me to do was to go to college. And that's all that I wanted to do, was to be able to go to college, to be an engineer and make my family proud. So lo and behold, I was able to apply and I was approved. But mind you, I had no credit, but I was approved for the loans. And And from then on, we went to have a conversation about credit. And all my mom would tell me was, and we can say bad words on this podcast. In the words of my mom, um, she said, "Don't fuck up your credit." And that's all she told me when it came to credit. But not knowing the details of not effing up your credit, right? So fast forward 2 years, I was still in college. My boyfriend, I was going into being a junior in college. My boyfriend was um was one who was big on credit. He had excellent credit, and he added me as an authorized user on his American Express card. So I had my own car. So I thought I was something back in college, but I was only able to use it for emergencies, right? I needed to buy a calculator, some books, and different things like that. I used it for. So shout out to him for really, really instilling the importance of having good credit and what it could do for you. So thank you for that. That helped my credit score out a lot, but still not quite understanding um, how it was calculated or what I need to even do to get good credit. Right? So go down this journey with me. So, okay, 2 years after that, okay, I'm a senior. I'm getting ready to graduate college, right? And I find out that my mom had a few credit cards in my name. Mind you, I still didn't have my own credit card yet. But my mom had some credit cards in my name. She had a Discover card. She had a gas card. Mind you, I didn't have a car yet. Um, and she was using it. And of course, that was my mom. I didn't want to make a big fuss about it. Still not really, really understanding it. But that Discover card she used, and she allowed me to use it too. But she didn't tell me that we had to pay that money back, right? And guys, to this day, I still have never I've never seen a credit report, right? So stay with me. So I get with who's my husband now. He had excellent credit as well. So that was a good track record of mine, right? Dated guys with excellent credit. So young ladies, go figure, right? Take heed to that. So he helped me when it came to pulling my credit report, looking to see what was on my credit report. And there was some things on there, late payments, um, different things like that. So we were able to pay down the debts and pay off the debts. So he helped me, pay off those debts. Um, and I was able to get my credit score up, but not up enough um, to where when I graduated college, my dad and we purchased my very first car, which was a Honda Accord. It was 2004 V6 engine. It was nice. I love that car. And my dad had to co-sign for me because I didn't have enough credit, or my credit wasn't good enough to not need a co-signer. So my dad co-signed for me, still not understanding credit, still not understand how a credit score is calculated. And I am 21 years old right now when this is happening at this time, meaning, and I still don't understand credit, right? So I'm working, get my first engineering job. I'm paying my bills on time, doing what I need to do, not knowing that that's 35% of my credit score. Um, Still just living life, still not knowing about credit, right? So I got married, right? Um, we bought a house and I had decent credit. Um, I had like a 680, 690 credit score. Um, so me and my husband were able to purchase a house. His score was in the 700s. We were able to purchase a house, a really, really good interest rate. And I'm still not understanding credit. I'm telling you, I still wasn't understanding credit. And I'm married, bought a house, engineer in the dead of my career, and still not understanding credit, right? But I know that when I apply for credit cards, I get approved, right? So, guess what I'm doing? I'm getting every credit card I want. I had so many credit cards, it didn't even make no sense, right? Having all those credit cards allowed me to live outside of my means, meaning spending way more money than I was making. Like I said, this is this is a moment of transparency. We can be transparent and be real with each other, right? So I had all this credit card debt. It was like maybe 30 something thousand, almost $40,000 in credit card debt. And it was causing me stress, anxiety. It was just feeling like I just had 200 pounds weighing in on me and that I was carrying. So I did a little research, but not good enough. So I ended up consolidating my credit cards, right? Because they said they could save me um, $300 a month when it came to paying my credit card bills. And I was like, oh my God, like I could use that extra 300 and something dollars a month. So I went ahead and I consolidated them. Remember, I said I did research, but it wasn't good enough, right? The far, the furthest I went when it came to research was how much money I was going to save on my payments. So the consolidation companies, they saved me money when it came to consolidating my credit cards and saving on my monthly payments. But they didn't tell me that all those accounts that I've had for years and years and years, that they were going to close. And closed accounts can cost you uh, quite a bit of a points when it comes to your credit score. So they also put me on a 4-year plan, right? For me to pay off all this credit card debt. In the meanwhile, you can't apply for any new credit, so you're stuck. So I, mid between being in the credit consolidation program, I, my husband and I relocated. Mind you, I've had children, um, before this. I just, left that part out. But this was fast forward probably 10 years. So we've had 2 children in between there because my oldest is 7, the youngest is 4, right? So let's get back to it. And those consolidation companies, I consolidated when before we relocated, but relocating, I still was in consolidation. So they closed out all those accounts. I didn't know that they were going to do that because I didn't do my research. Um, so in mid between, I I still don't understand. Mind you, now I'm 30. I was 35 and I still don't understand how your credit score is calculated. Still don't understand credit. Okay, let's be perfectly clear. At 35, I still did not understand credit and the importance of credit. So now I have these cards in consolidation. Okay, they closed them out. I mean, and I couldn't apply for any new credits. I was just stuck, right? I we ended up after relocating, right? We relocated back to the north. Well, I'm from New Jersey, so we relocated back up north to Connecticut, right? And we moved into this house, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. Well, anyone that's familiar with Connecticut, you know it gets cold up here. So it was freezing. The pipes froze and they eventually bursted. So that flooded the whole first floor and the basement of the house, right? So I knew then, once we found out that it would take months for the house to be fixed and all the electrical things and I mean just everything that could have went wrong was going wrong. So we were staying in a hotel for 3 months, but I knew that my credit score was not what it was when I moved to Connecticut, because I knew that I was in consolidation, and it was just bad, right? It was just bad. So I knew that I was going to need my credit to find, because we were going to have to find another place. So still don't understand. Still don't understand how credit scores are calculated. I still don't understand, right? So I found this company. I looked up and found this company on social media, right? And it was by a post. The post said, if your credit score starts with the 3, 4, 5, or 6, comment me and I'll send you some information. And I was like, this is me. I gotta do something, right? Because I know it's only a matter of time before we have to move out of this hotel and we gotta find a place, right? So I got started with this amazing company. The first 30 days, guys, my score went up 60 points. 60 points. And I'm like, oh my God. Mind you, I came in with a 527 credit score. So my score went up 60 points. So that was a big deal to me, right? And from then on, it just kept increasing and kept increasing. So here I am, still drowning in credit card debt, but my credit score is increasing, right? So I'm like, I got to tell everybody I know about this amazing, amazing company, right? So now, here I am, 39 years old. Last year, I was able, because I was, okay, so I started, okay, let's go back. So my credit score went up. I was telling everybody I knew about it, and I was offered the opportunity to purchase my own franchise, right? So remember I said I partnered with some very, very successful people, and I was able to start my own franchise, right? Because I wanted to be able to help people just like myself who was in that rut, who didn't understand credit, who didn't know how to their credit score was calculated, which I'm going to get into because I have to. So I wanted to be able to help so many people, guys. So far my score has gone up over 200 points. So that's almost an 800 credit score. So I am super, super excited about that, to have my buying power back. Now, so here I go now, 39 years old. Last year, working part-time, as I was still an engineer, working part-time, I used my money that I was making part-time helping people restore their credit to pay off the last $19,000 in credit card debt. Yes, I did. I took every dime and I called the consolidation company and I said, I need a payoff, because I just want to be done with this, right? I told myself I was going to make a sacrifice and I wanted to be out of credit card debt. So I called them, they gave me the payoff, and I said, okay, how do I go about paying? Do I pay you guys or do I pay the credit card companies? They said it will be much faster if you just go ahead and just take your accounts back and pay the creditors yourself. I said, okay. So I did that. Zero credit card debt. Oh my God, it felt so good. Oh my God, it felt so good. And guys, all of this is leading up to something really good. Okay. So just stick with me, right? Take this ride with me. So I had zero credit card debt. Oh my God. Anybody that's been credit card debt free, you know what it feels like, right? So I paid off all those credit cards and I went to try to use one. Because remember, I said they closed out my accounts, but I didn't know that. So this is how I found out. I went to go and try to use my American Express card and it kept declining. And I'm like, why is my credit card declining? Like I just paid this balance off. So I called American Express and they told me that the account was closed. And I called every other credit card company and they told me that my accounts were closed. And if I wanted to reopen them, I would have to reapply. So I had no credit. I had no credit because my car was paid off, right? I did that. I paid my car off because I had a late payment and I got so upset that I ended up just paying it off. But they didn't remove it from my credit. So I'm going to get into all that. But yeah, so I had to learn the hard way. I didn't have any credit. So I had to go reapply for new credit. But mind you, they left me with bad credit, right? But thank God that this company was able to get all those negative items deleted, right? So that brought my credit score up, and I had to reapply for new credit, and I had to use it responsibly. That's when I started understanding credit. That's when I started understanding credit, how to obtain and maintain good credit. Because guess what? This company, this franchise that I purchased, right, allowing me to help people just like myself, right? It holds me accountable, right? And it educates me about credit, right? So now is not now meaning right now, but that's when I started understanding how your credit score is calculated, right? 35% is just paying your bills on time, right? That's your payment history, paying your bills on time. Remember, I said that credit is the bridge between you and lenders. And building that relationship and having a good relationship with lenders that you can go and borrow anytime, the bulk of it is paying them back on time. 30% is utilization, right? Remember, if you have a credit card or a secure card and your limit is $1,000, then you never exceed $300. So now I'm understanding why I wasn't having luck with credit. Remember, I told you they closed out all those accounts when I consolidated, but they were mostly maxed out anyway. But had I would have just paid them back on my own, right, I would have came out with excellent credit. 15% is credit history, right? That's the length of the time you've had your credit cards, right? So they closed them out. So that wiped out all that good credit history that I had. And then 10% is new credit inquiries. Thinking that every time you go in the store and they offer you a card, you got to get it. No, that's going to start to deduct points from your credit score. Mind you guys, remember I said I'm just learning this stuff last year at 38 years old. I lived 38 years without understanding credit, but I'm using it and I'm abusing it. But I didn't even understand it. But now it's all clear to me, right? And then the last 10% is the types of credit, meaning having that good credit mix, right? An installment loan versus a revolving loan. Now, installment loans would be a mortgage or a car payment, right? Revolving would be a credit card. And I remember when I paid off my car, I did see a deduction in my credit score because that was good. That was a good installment loan that I had, right? That was good credit history that I had with Lexus Financial, right? So now I get it. Now, let me tell you something else. How many of us use our debit card for everything? Right? Think about it. You're not building credit if you're using your debit card. In order to obtain and maintain credit, you have to use it, right? If you don't use it, you'll lose it. But guess what? If you abuse it, you'll lose it too. But you have to use it, but you have to use it responsibly, meaning paying your bills on time, keeping your utilization under 30%, right? Not closing out credit cards that you've had for years and years and years. Let's just say you got 10 credit cards. You don't need that many, right? 2 to 3. That's perfect. But if you want to close them out, close out the ones you've had the least amount of time, right? The ones that you've had for years and years and years, keep those open and keep those active. But if you just want to, get rid of some of those cards, then just close out the ones you've had the least amount of time, right? And make sure you have that good credit mix. You have to have a credit card, guys, to have good credit. It's no way around it. Now, let's talk about what's most damaging to your credit score, right? Late payments, right? Remember I said that's 35% of your credit score. Late payments can cost you up to 110 points. Okay? Pay your bills on time. Debt settlement can cost you up to 125 points. Now, what is debt settlement? Debt settlement is saying, I borrowed 2,500 from you, but I don't pay you back. So the company say, okay, let's try to work out something. You borrowed 25, but just so I can get at least some of my money back, are you able to pay 1,500? Right? That means that they have to settle for less than what you borrowed. So of course that's going to be damaging to your credit score. A foreclosure can cost you up to 160 points. Bankruptcy being the highest, 240 points. Right? Bankruptcy is not credit repair. A collection account can cost you up to 110 points, right? And hard inquiries can cost you up to 15 points. So every time they pull your credit as a hard inquiry, that's 15 points, up to 15 points deducted from your credit score, right? So those are the worst impacts when it comes to your credit score, right? So the magic question is, if you have those negative items on your credit report, how do you get rid of them? I'm glad you asked, right? You're going to have to do credit restoration. And what does that mean? That means you're going to have to dispute those negative items. Did you know that there was a law passed in 1970, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, giving Americans the right to dispute any negative item affecting their credit score. Dispute them to who? Who do we dispute them with? You dispute them with the credit bureaus, meaning Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Right? So many people are afraid of the bureaus because they think that they are government entities, but they're not. They are not government entities. They are independently operated companies. And when I say independently, meaning, of course, they're not government entities, but they operate independently, meaning the three don't talk to each other. So if you look, you're going to have three different credit scores because the creditors are not obligated to report those negative items to the bureaus, right? It just depends on how they feel that day, right? So they may report to one, they may report to two of them, they may report to all three of them, but they're not obligated to report to any of them at all. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act is there to regulate and hold the bureaus accountable for information that they report. So the information that they report has to be fair and accurate, right? But guess what? 1 out of 5 Americans have errors on their credit report. And you'll see it more prominent on people with a high school diploma or less. So make sure you're taking advantage of obtaining your free credit report. Every single year, you get a credit report free through www.annualcreditreport.com. You should check your credit report at least once a year. At least once a year. You need to know what's on your credit report. Right? That's credit restoration. Disputing those negative items that are stopping you from achieving your goal, whatever it is. If you want to purchase a home, a car, whatever it is. But credit restoration is more than just disputing those negative items because you have to be educated, right? I don't want anyone to go through life and it takes them 38 years to fully understand credit and even know how your credit score is calculated because credit is way too serious to be taken that lightly. Again, that's your financial heartbeat. That's how you build relationships with lenders. It's very, very, very important. Now, we have what we call our Say What segment, right? And the Say What segment is is when I allow people to email me, comment on my social media posts, text me, any questions that they want answered when it comes to the topic that we're going to be talking about, right? This is our Say What segment. So we have, I think, four questions for the Say What segment, right? So let's just get right into it. Question 1. Can you give me a tip on ways to boost my credit score? Sure. One way is making 2 credit card payments a month, right? You're going to see an increase in your credit score. Now, let me break it down for you. Let's just say that your payment is due on the 16th, right? So on the 12th, if your payment is due on the 16th, on the 12th, just go ahead and pay. Let's just say the amount owed is $100, right? Your payment is $100. Pay $50 on the 12th, and then on the 16th, pay $50 more, right? So you pay half on the 12th, and then you pay the other half on the 16th. And it's making it like you made two payments and you're being very responsible, right? But you're really only making that one payment, right? So take heed to that. I hope that that was valuable to you. It doesn't say who this was from. So if that was helpful to you, follow back up with me. I hope you're listening. Okay. The second question, I purchased my car at an extremely high interest rate. My car valued at 19,000, but after all the interest I paid almost $40,000. What should I do? What should you do? Well, the damage has already been done, my love, because I see you said it'll be paid off in a few months, though. So the damage has already been done. I hope that it was a lesson learned for you. I'm glad that you were able to hang in there, and that you are months away from getting it paid off. So hats off to you for that. Moving forward, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get in contact with me so we can get you some help when it comes to restoring your credit. Because if you had to pay such a high interest rate, you do have things on your credit report that need to be disputed. So I want you to contact me at 860-996-1422. Text credit to that number, and let's have a consultation so you'll never ever have to experience that again. Okay. So thank you again for your question. And guys, this is a no judgment zone here, right? There's no bad question. There's no wrong question, right? My goal is to bring value to everyone that listens to this podcast, right? I don't want to be on here just saying things, or yeah, we want to have fun, but I also want to bring value, and I want what I say to be impactful, and I want it to be influential when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to your credit, right? Because credit is important. An 850 credit score has more buying power than $100,000. Let me tell you that. But I'm going to share my experience with you when I purchased my car, my sweet love. When I purchased my car, I didn't go through the dealership. I went to the bank that I have a relationship with, because I have a credit card there and I have a debit card there, meaning I have money there. But I got approved through them. They they approved me. They sent me a blank check. And I knew how much, I wanted to spend, but they made the check for the highest approved amount. But I didn't want to spend that much. So I went to the dealership with that check. I picked out my car. I was there maybe 15, 20 minutes. And my dad and I left. We got the car and we left. And the reason why I went through my bank, which is a credit union, was because they were only going to run my credit report one time. When you get a car from a dealership, yes, they'll approve you. You're going to get a high interest rate, but they're also going to put your social security number into a shark tank, meaning whoever bites, that's who you're going to get your financing from. And remember, I said that inquiries can cost you up to 15 points. So if they put your social security number in a shark tank and all these sharks are biting, let's just say you got, I don't know, 10, 15. Multiply that times 15. That's the number of points that are coming from your credit score. So think about that the next time you want to purchase a car. But like I said, call me, 860-996-1422. Text credit, and let's do something about that situation. Question number 3. What are the credit score ranges? Good question. I talked about the lowest to the highest, but I didn't get into details about the ranges. So forgive me for that, because I should have done that. But either way, this question came up, which is good. So the credit score ranges from 300 to 579, which is considered poor credit, right? 580 to 669 is considered fair credit. 670 to 739 is considered good credit. 740 to 799 is considered very good. 800 to 850 is considered to be excellent. Okay, we got that? So 300 to 850. The highest you can go is 850, and the lowest you can go is 300, with the exception of 0, meaning you haven't proven the ability to borrow money and pay off loans just yet. Last but not least, our 4th question. Hey, I have good credit, but my husband doesn't, and he's needing a car. Should I co-sign for him to get a car? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't agree with co-signing for anyone. And I'm just speaking based off my experiences, but co-signing, no, I wouldn't. Husband, wife, mom, dad, I would not co-sign, because now that I understand credit at my age of 39, and I'm holding myself accountable, which means I'm holding everybody else around me accountable. No, I would not co-sign. I would not. And people can say what they want to say, but I am not in agreement of co-signing for anyone. My dad did co-sign for me when I was in college. I mean, when I graduated college, to get my first car. But I can tell you, I was never late when it came to paying for that car. It wasn't until years later that I made a late payment on my car. But this was a totally different car. And it wasn't because I didn't have the money. It was because I forgot. I forgot. And they reported it late. And like I said, I paid that car off, and it still didn't get deleted from my credit report. And that late payment costed me 96 points. So if that person is late paying that car note, then guess what? It's going to affect you as well. My advice to you: have your have your husband call me as well at 860-996-1422. Text credit, and let's do a consultation, and let's get him to the point where he no longer needs a co-signer. So guys, this segment was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. Remember, I said that it's our safe haven. It's a place for us to come and be transparent, talk about things, vent about things, and talk to each other, and teach each other valuable life lessons, right? Because there's no need for us to make the same mistakes over and over again, because life is too short. So my goal is to bring value, and for us to just have fun at the same time. So thank you again for tuning in. We're going to talk more about credit and finances. We're going to talk back about it, because it's one of the most important things, knowing about credit. I don't want anyone, I'm going to keep saying this, I don't want anyone to have to go through life for 38 years not understanding credit. right? When America runs off of credit. So, again, guys, thank you again for tuning in to Say What. I look forward to speaking with you guys again next week. So every week we're going to be dropping a podcast, and we're going to have guests on here. We're going to have I may even have my kids on here for a little bit on a segment. I'm going to have my husband on here because there's some things that we need to talk about when it comes to family. Um, and he and I raised totally different, even though we have two different backgrounds, but we both love our kids, but we don't always agree when it comes to raising our kids. So I just want to, just kind of share that with the world and see if any other couple is having, some of those same debates or disagreements or whatever it's worth. But we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about situationships. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about parenting. We're going to talk about in laws. We're going to talk about eating healthy on a budget. I'm going to share my vegan journey with you guys, my juicing journey. Um, I'm going to share being a mompreneur, like everything I want to share, because I realize in life that when you go through things, it's not for you to keep to yourself, but to share your testimony with everyone. So this is what this is going to be. We're just going to have fun at the end of the day. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, thank you Whitfield for this awesome song. Thank you JP Productions for, oh my God, for the promo for the Say What podcast, the graphics out of this world. Um, if you guys are interested in reaching out, get with me again, text that number and I'll get you their information. They're out in California, but they service the whole world. So thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was just too much fun. See you guys next week.